Hello, welcome back. It's been a week. I thought I'd give record an update anyway. I'm not going to upload this yet. So, I'm still waiting on parts. I've gone ahead and replaced... This is kind of precarious here. Everything I had parts for. One of the things I hate when I do this too, I don't have my pointer. Somehow or another I forgot to order .068 film caps. I had a whole bunch of .033s kicking around, so I stacked them up here and here. Another thing I had forgotten to order was some .0068s and some .005s. Now I know I could actually butcher a couple of radios because I know I have a few I haven't finished that have these in them, but I don't want to go do that. So again, I'm still waiting for caps. I did some research. Well, I've still got two to replace actually. I just stopped to make this, but I've got the .022 here. Okay, so I have one. I'm still waiting for the 1000 or 1600 volt orange drops, which are part of the order that has the styrene caps I'm going to use for the tone controls. I was going to order some micas to use in place of the styrene, since I guess styrene are still rather unstable, and they're also, Joe reminded me that they're very susceptible to overheating when you're soldering. So I was going to go ahead and use mica on these, but then after talking to Joe, he said that I should, well, what he's been doing instead of buying micas because they're expensive, is getting, is it CG0, NG0, NOG, N0G? There's ceramic caps that are for RF. I looked at the data sheets on them, and you know, they mentioned that they're good for 1 through 200 megahertz, or 1 hertz through 200 megahertz. So they had graphs that showed their stability at high frequencies. So being that those were only 30 cents instead of a couple of dollars, I went ahead and ordered some of those. They're also nice and tiny because I have to get into the, I'm going to have to replace the 4 that are inside the RF cans, and I did manage to get them out, take them apart. I figured out how they went together. You know, there's really only 2 ways this will go. So let me go ahead and turn this around. So, unfortunately for me, they both are going to have to come off. One of them here came off quite easily, and you can see there's 2 here, but unfortunately there's 2 on the back side hidden. And this one is I pulled the top off, and it's also got this on it, and it's attached at the bottom. So what I'm going to have to do is I have to get in. I have to take them off, and I didn't really want to do that, but I don't see much of a choice because I don't think I haven't. I don't know how that piece of styrofoam got in there. I'm going to have to replace these. There's no point not doing it. All of the other ones that I have taken off and tested have all been way out of tolerance. I don't see why these would be in tolerance. So, they're on order. And I'll just go ahead, and I was kind of hoping I could get to the back side of this one without taking it off, but it doesn't look like it. Another thing that I did was I did a little more research on the different radios, and I will, if I remember, I will post the link to the webpage of the guy that seems to be, at least on the web, the web resident expert on the German radios. He's done a bunch of them. He's the site that his is the site that I learned how to use a Mylar balloon to replace, if you needed to replace the, for lack of a better word, Mylar that came in the original tweeters. So that's where I am right now. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the other cap, and then I'll just record another update, probably with taking these two off. So I'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. It's the next day. I got my replacement styrene, and I discovered something kind of interesting. A lot of these styrene capacitors, I was only removing one end to test them, but when I'm pulling them out now and testing them outside, completely off the radio, they're not as off as I thought. So I've gone through, so far I've gotten lucky. Both of these styrene in here are good. In fact, the 39 measures at 38.6, and the 270 is 269. I haven't gotten to the backside yet, but I'm going to. I've taken a few more out and they were fine. So far I've got 3 I've actually replaced. Here I've got the 270 that came in at 380, and I've got the 390 that measured at 700, and the 680 that measured at 780. So there are some that are not all that great, but so far I've gone through and about 6 of them are good if I take them all the way out of the radio. Although I'm sort of kind of on the fence, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Once I get it out of the radio, kind of makes me wonder if I should put the old one back in or not. So I did with these here, the 270 and the 39. I put them back because I forgot to order a 39. I've got 39s coming in mica, but I don't know if I'm going to need it or not. So this one was still going to have to come off. Now if I go ahead and decide to do mica, I can actually attach them at the bottom, since these, you can see that. That other guy, I was all over his website again. So, you know, these pegs go down through the bottom, and that seems to be where most people are putting them, because the mica just is not going to fit in here. There's just not enough room. I mean, these barely fit. Fortunately, the new ones pretty much look identical to the old ones. The voltages are higher on the new ones, but otherwise, you know, well, it's a 390, but see, even these might not fit, being 630 volts instead of 125. Let me see if I can find. Well, here's a 270. And I don't know, the 270 might fit, but anyway, to make short story long, I'm just going to have to go through and completely remove each of these individually and test them. I'm just going to do it. I've got nothing better to do. So, let me, excuse me, the cold weather and the changing has made me cough quite a bit, and I was just outside. I had to walk all the way up to pick up my package up at the office, and it's pretty cold outside. So alright, I'm going to go through and I'm going to test some more and replace some more if need be, and then, geez, I guess we could fire it up pretty soon here. Yeah, so let me go ahead and go through a couple more of these components, and I'll be back. Alright, well, I think I've learned my lesson, and that is to take styrene caps out completely when you test them, because when I retested several of these, they were okay. I did replace a couple of them. I managed to get the one IF can off. All 4 of them were fine. So I left the harder one on. The one that's completely encapsulated. Ow. This is the one that I already put the caps on. Sorry about that. This is the one that when I slid it off, it was still covered. So all the ones in here are okay. I'm going to guess these are okay because I just don't want to take that off. So I went through and I added the 0.001 1600 volt, the 4700 1600 volt. I went ahead and put the filter cap can back in, and I just finished soldering that one up. There we go. Okay, so the filter cap is back in there. The original wire that was connected up to the original one, it broke, of course, so now I have to add a patch on there, because the little red wire here goes in and disappears up underneath the transformer, the audio transformer. I guess I could have actually traced it out. Yep. Okay. And then, anyhow, that's good. I mean, it works. And I double insulated it with shrink wrap tubing. Boy, you know, I shouldn't do this stuff on Monday. So I went ahead and bent the tabs back and reconnected up the ground, and it's pretty solid there. So, oh, you know, something I was going to mention. I put the CS version of the Nichicons in there. Those are the little pencil thin ones that are real long and skinny. Interestingly, the last several times I've ordered the Nichicon caps, especially with the CS, I've been ordering them and I've been noticing they've been coming in almost at 10% lower than their rated capacity. And I'm finding that's very consistent. And I'm getting the same reading on both the Fluke and the Sencor, so I'm assuming that they're both right, considering most other caps come out correct. For example, this one was 250s, 250 microfarads, and I replaced them with 56 microfarads, but the 56s read at 51. Both of them do. And that's even after I burn them in a little bit. So, just thought it was interesting that they keep coming in at about 10% below rated capacity on the CS versions specifically. Anyhow, it's just something I thought I would mention. So, and I'm crazy enough that I actually, when I get new caps, I test them before I put them in for both leakage and value. So, what I'm going to do now is I think I'm just going to take a break for the night, and I'm going to pull out the speaker, because there's some I think there's some foam around the speaker. And then, so I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm ready to test this, so I've got to go dig out the tubes. I've been collecting the tubes, as I mentioned, for the past like 2 years, so I don't know which boxes I put them in. Hopefully they're all near each other, but that would make a lot of sense, and I don't always make a lot of sense, so the volume's still good, everything is still good so far, and I'm wondering also, I was doing a little more research on these, and I'm wondering if, when I said the tweeter didn't work the first time, it looks to me, I'd have to get the dial glass out. Grundig calls, there's 2 bass and 2 treble controls. One's like, say, 250 and one's 500, or, 100 and 250. And then on the treble they do, it's sort of like an equalizer. So they do the super high and just below that for the bass and treble, and they call it multi-sonic. And I'm wondering, when I tested, I didn't know that, but I did not have this button pressed, I don't think, when I was testing it. So that tweeter may have always worked, I don't know. But we're going to find out, since I don't have a manual for it. But the key here is multi-sonic, even though, interestingly enough, you know, this button isn't connected to anything. There's no switch elements in here, so I don't know. Anyhow, I'm gonna check the speaker, upload this, and then the next video we'll do our first power up and see how it goes. I did order the dial string from Radio Days last week. Hopefully it'll show up. The last time I made an order from them, they actually sent me a message saying that they had sent it and it had a tracking number. I was pretty impressed. Oh, and today's the 17th too, so I'm gonna go check their website. Today is the day they're supposed to bring their website live, and yes, I know so is August 1st, September 1st, October 1st, and November 1st, but anyway, I'm gonna go check them out. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be back in the next video.